third phase of moon.
Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. We're live, taking calls from around the world, right here, from people from around the world who capture amazing lights in the skies. We just released an amazing video called Attack on Area 51, The Untold Story. Mr. Ron Gardner came on the show, and we went over some amazing information in regards to J-Rod and what's going on at Area 51. And the comments that came in on Third Phase of Moon have been absolutely incredible. I think this one has gone up, 1,000 or so comments. Many comments coming in, and we're going to go over some of the favorite ones that we believe that Third Phase of Moon should mention. And we appreciate people that do come forward and have their opinion on what they think the information is that's coming out on Third Phase of Moon, what they believe. Have they ever been abducted by aliens? If they don't believe in aliens, one way or the other, the forum is a good place to share your opinion. So we're going to go over some of these opinions right now. And let's go to Lulian64, what Lulian64 said 3 days ago in regards to the J-Rod story. And he says, or she, I should have said that there are no grays on Earth. Grays aren't gray. They're rather shiny. Oh, and they aren't here to harm us. It's been 20 years since I met them. They aren't people for no reason. I remember when I was 12 and I was asked about them and what they were up to. They had said that they want to install memories into select humans and to give them a recall memory like mine. Why is this a puzzle? Sometimes with other humans, they're harder to install memories. So that's from Lulian64, and, these are the comments that we receive right here at Third Phase of Moon. And Mrs. Godswan, number 1, so that's MS God, GODSOWN1, and Miss Godswan says 3 days ago, amen to these folks that are POWs of Satan and don't even know it yet. We are in war of the spiritual kind and not the close encounter kind. And if you're on Yahweh's side, you're a soldier of his. If you're not a prisoner of war of Satan's, keep on the good fight, brother. So that's from Mrs. Godswan. Just interesting comments that are coming into Third Phase of Moon. We're taking calls from around the world. And if you do want to speak to us at Third Phase and ask any question, the number is 347-934-0378. And right now we do have a caller in from somewhere on the planet Earth. Welcome to Third Phase of Moon. Who am I speaking with? And you have any questions?
Hello.
Yes. Welcome to Third Phase of Moon.
Hey, Briggs. It's Joe Rodriguez.
Hey, Joe. How's it going?
Fine. I'm just listening in right now. I don't have anything to comment. I just dialed in right now, so I haven't heard the program yet. So I'm just listening in for now.
Certainly. Well, we're going over some of the comments that have been said about videos that we've posted on Third Phase of Moon, and we're going over the the story about the attack on Area 51, if it was in Eisenhower's plan to grab the U.S. Army when he had the power and he was president to take over Area 51 and find out what was really going on over there. And Mr. Ron Gardner with us, and it was pretty insightful about the information coming out. Believe it or not, who knows? But the story is quite fantastic. Let's we'll take this other caller from area code 843. Welcome to Third Phase.
Hello, Blake. Joe Kiernan here from South Carolina.
Mr. Joe Kiernan, welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here. How are you tonight?
Doing good. Just going over some of these comments, and I know you get a lot of comments on your YouTube channel. Tell me, what are some of the response that you've been getting since you've been posting up these videos pretty much on a daily basis? We keep a close eye on the material that you're posting, and it is quite amazing and basically, constant, like a pretty much steady trickle of water, and it's not slowing down the activity.
You're right about that. It is continuous. It is ongoing. I have been focusing a lot of my time on meeting a lot of other people that are experiencing and witnessing similar things, and it seems to be occurring on a daily basis. If I'm not seeing it, someone else is reporting it, and I'm trying to focus on a lot of first-time reporters and contactees. And it's truly an amazing thing. This is happening worldwide. People just need to go out and spend a little more time outside. It's happening in every country, in every state, and I'm just part of the awareness to get people to pay a little more attention and to come up with their own conclusions. However, I am very interested in the Area 51 topic with the statements by Mr. Gardner. It's an incredible statements he has made regarding Eisenhower wanting to storm in there and take control, and it's quite amazing that although Eisenhower had reached that point, that we still really haven't made much progress on the knowings and the what's going on within the confounds of Area 51.
We're going over some of the comments right here under the video we posted, Attack on Area 51, The Untold Story, and Flycatchful says here that our nation is dying on a vine, and we have all this technology. Something's not right with this information and the state of our economy. The only information I believe concerning alien technology comes from Robert Lazar. So, some comments there saying that Ron Gardner's his information isn't totally accurate, but he does actually have testimony from the interview Robert Dolan did with the whistleblower retired CIA agent, claiming that he was right there with Eisenhower. This guy, after I watched that interview, it didn't seem like there was any trickery. Why would this guy, people want their claims to fame maybe on their last dying days, and they want to, get in the newspapers, but it sure didn't seem that way to me.
Yeah, you're right about that. It seems to be between those two gentlemen there, and there's a few other people, as you know. One being Stanton Friedman, I had the pleasure of meeting and speaking to, and he's another gentleman who's worked at Area 51. And it seems that the people who have been out at Area 51 and have spent some time out there are all reporting incredible happenings that are going on there. However, there seems to be large differences in some of their stories. It's in my opinion, it's quite possible that there are several unique happenings that are going on there that maybe each department are unfamiliar with each other to cause discrepancies between their stories. I find it hard to believe that such credible people would have vast differences in their stories. However, technology seems to be quite profound, and it all seems quite relative to that area. There was a massive technological boom right after everything started happening at Area 51. So some of these gentlemen hold great credentials, and they should be listened to. But I'm sure the truth lies somewhere between it all.
Even maybe the President of the United States, definitely Eisenhower, wanted to know, and I don't think what our President knows basically pretty much is much in the dark like everybody else, unfortunately. Joe Rodriguez, do you have any opinion of what do you think might be going on over there, and what?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. Hello, Joe. I've seen your videos too. I've seen your videos. Great videos, by the way, Joe.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Rodriguez. Thank you.
Here's my thinking on that. You said because they have great credentials and this and that and what have you, and President Eisenhower and all that. They're still human beings, and human beings can be fooled. And my standing has always been, even though I've seen these things myself, I've videotaped them. They're on Joe Rodriguez UFO on YouTube. I'm surprised that I saw them. I never believed in that before. But people can be deceived. Maybe they're not from outer space. Maybe they're not from another world. Maybe they are creatures that are trying to confuse the masses worldwide to bring in a new savior and kind of kick away that Jesus guy so that they can replace that Jesus dude, long-haired, beard, whatever Jesus dude, and put him away, and people can focus more on these beings. That's my thinking,
That's what I like about you, Joe. You have this out-of-a-box kind of thinking in its own way, coming up with a theory that maybe they're just, some kind of being in its own right, and it has nothing to do with aliens. But they're there and they're being captured and being held there because they don't want us to know. Let's go over. We get these comments, and there's another one from Luigi Pettigrassi. He says, "Good work, mate. Keep them coming. What's up with these debunkers? Excuse me, but I have to say this. It's time. The government swines can't keep the truth covered forever. Thanks to guys like you and Dr. Stephen Greer and Stephen Bassett for trying their best. Also, thanks for the good footage. Take care, mate." So, that's some of the comments that are coming in. And, it's guys like you too, Joe Rodriguez, investigating on scene, having your own opinion on what you think some of these things are. You have theories that they could be demons in their own way, balloons, but you do say there's something definitely going on. And then Joe Kiernan as well. Go ahead,
Blake,
Joe.
I've seen it. I've videotaped it myself, and I've seen your stuff. You have amazing stuff on your website, incredible stuff. Some stuff is questionable, but it does not mean that all of it is questionable. You have some stuff there that it's really legitimate. So do you, Joe. And the stuff I videotaped, again, on Joe Rodriguez UFO, stuff that leaves me in shock. I can't understand. But it does make sense that it's deceiving. But here's a question that I was going to present to you folks. These politicians that run for Congress and office and to become presidents and all that, isn't it strange that no one answers a question or even brings out the topic about UFOs when they're running for office? They don't touch the subject. Isn't that kind of strange?
Joe, do you have a Kiernan? We got two Joes on. It's funny, but Kiernan, Mr. Kiernan, do you have an answer for Joe's question there?
Well, no. Joe has very, very good points, and Joe, I am familiar with your videos as well. I think Joe hit it right on the head with that. I think he's dead right. I think politicians won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I think most politicians don't even want to touch it while they are in office.
Right.
I think that it falls into the same category as politicians they just tell you what you want to hear. And by you, I mean the overall voter. They're just telling you what you want to hear to get reelected or to have a better approval rating or whatever it may be. We all know the answers and the truth that they seek. They find out what they want to know. It's there really is a larger government within the government of unelected officials. The people that are in office for 20 years, 30 years, and it might not be a political office. It might be a head seat at the CIA or as Blake, as we found out with John Elias, that we know there's people that work at Area 51 that are lifers. They're there for life. These are incredible positions. These are the people that hold the truth. And I'd like to think that the president is the man for the people, but there's plenty of secrets and things that happen within the country that were happening before the president was elected, and they're going to continue to happen once he's gone. I think for a lot of these people, politicians and presidents are short-term problems for them, and I think it's very easy for them to stall a topic like a ongoing UFO project that's been going on for many years. I think they can stall that for 4 years until the next election if they need to. I think politicians, it's a topic that will only bury themselves because they won't get any answers, and a lot of people in the public feel that unless there is some proof that comes out, it's just wasted time and wasted money.
The money's being spent. They're building the underground bunkers that, or just webbing out underneath the United States. And these things are massive. And for what, we have no idea. Hopefully, it's for better mankind in case there's an asteroid event and there's nothing we could do about it. We have to evacuate to these underground bunkers, and they're kind of preparing for that kind of action. And
well, it would be
maybe
nice
they don't
to know about that.
Yeah, it's it's pretty amazing. But let's go let's stick it on keep to attack on Area 51, and we released an entire video with Mr. Ron Gardner with amazing imagery of what was described of what was coming out by Dan Birch on location over there where he worked with J. Rod, and it was called Area 51 Blown Wide Open, and that's, everybody should take a look at that. We'll be putting a link on this. And here's something I think Joe Rodriguez will find interesting from Buddy Peters, another comment right here at Third Phase of Moon on Attack on Area 51, the untold story. From Buddy Peters, he says, I think he goes with what Joe's kind of going on. Here it is. This is pure deception. It was a spawn of Satan, a mixed breed of animal and human, and it did not come from 15 light years to Earth. Satan has given the key to unlock hell, and they're upon us to gather those who will sell their souls to them. It's a roundup for hell in the end. So, Joe Rodriguez, you've got a lot of criticism for having your own opinion about your demon theory, but I've gotten all kinds, emails and people's opinions.
Right.
There's a lot of people that agree with you, Joe.
Right. There are some that agree, and there's a lot that don't agree. But, I go by the source. The source that I have to use is the Bible. I used to be an atheist, but I've read the Bible carefully, and I know that it's a true source. A lot of people use it to find unearthed cities. Scientists use it to find things, and there's a lot of stuff in the Bible that people did not know back then, but the Bible knew it. So somebody took care of putting everything in the Bible, and it was perfection. In my opinion, it still is perfection. And the Bible talks about Satan being the ruler of the earth right now, of the world right now. It says that in the Bible. So if he's the ruler of the world and he's trying to deceive us, then why not send out these things that are going to confuse the masses, right? Remember the prayer that Jesus said? In the prayer that Jesus taught us, he says, Our Father, that is in heaven, blah, blah, blah. He also says, save us from the wicked one, or protect us from the wicked one, from the evil one, from the evil one. So Jesus is talking about an evil one that we need protection from. Do you understand? Can you understand what I'm saying?
I leave that to the experts that have done their studies and gone to their Sunday school. I kind of stick with the facts, what I see, and kind of go.
A lot of people do. A lot of people do. But all I'm saying is that for those people that believe in the Bible and in Jesus, in the prayer, when he was teaching us how to pray, he said, pray this way. Say, God, protect us from the evil one. So he's admitting that there's an evil one out there. And that's why every time I talk about demons and all that, that's what I'm referring to.
Well, here's a comment. Surf Jerr, and his comment was 50 countries already admit these aliens exist. Some are of our own higher government officials have admitted Greys and several other groups of aliens exist. Millions of reports of Greys kidnapping humans in the last 40 years from around the world. Also from around the world are the craft and being seen, Greys leaving and coming from them. I hope this clears it up. They exist and they are real. That's from Surf Jerr. So he, a lot of people believe that has nothing to do with anything about demons.
No, but Blake, if that was true, Blake, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm not saying that there's not stuff out there. But if all those governments have admitted that those things are true, we would have a lot more videotape showing us Greys, a lot more. But we don't have a lot. We have puppets and a couple of things that look like Greys, but we really don't have that many videos. As sophisticated as we are today, nowadays, with so many video cameras, we would have hell of a lot more videos of Greys, but we don't have any. So I think what they're trying to say is that these countries have admitted that there's something out there, and they don't know what the hell it is. I'm thinking that's what they're trying to say.
I agree.
Otherwise, we would have more video. We would have a lot more video. Your website would be packed with more Grey video, but you don't have that many Greys on your website, do you, Blake?
There's
not that many.
You're absolutely right, and they come. We'd like to actually have bodies and get some really good video, and I think we may be coming up with a plan to start something in that concept of getting people to get excited about possibly divulging that kind of information, because if somebody had that kind of evidence, you think the government may have not, from other countries, wherever, come in and just confiscate that thing if it even got out for a split second?
Exactly. Other countries, look, other countries can have people go in there and steal pictures, take photos, and sell them and what have you. Because you know how there's other countries out there that don't have proper governments, proper security and what have you. They'll go out there and take all kinds of pictures of graves if they have them locked up or whatever. You would have gotten those pictures by now, Blake, but you don't have any of those pictures or videos because they're not out there. I'm thinking, you would have them by now. I think
it was a rare event when Roswell happened and the craft, it really actually possibly didn't crash. It was more shot down in its own sense. So, it's not every day that a UFO gets shot down. So I think it could have been a very rare event. There's been many reported cases of a lot of crashed UFOs being not crashed, but being shot down, and the bodies being recovered, and the other aliens alive still being recovered from around the world.
Yeah, but pictures would have been leaked out by now.
With these people in power with trillions of dollars, it's going to be pretty easy to cover that up. But like I said, we may be working on something that might instigate and get something going here. And we definitely, if we get something like that smoking gun video footage, Third Phase of Moon is going to be putting it up, and we're not going to be holding anything back. We will be posting to the world, and it's going to be uncensored. Joe, you tell me what's, Mr. Kiernan, what about that, I think you're agreeing that...
I do agree with Joe there. And I could also say I have not seen any grays. If I did, I would definitely have a recording of it, and Third Phase of the Moon would be the first one to have it. I'm hoping to. I'm hoping if that is what's inhabiting these lights and crafts I'm seeing, that is my focus, to find out where they're landing, where they're taking off from, because they do go to and from the woods, the forest here, and I'd even like to say that they go in and out of water. But I don't know if they're actually going into the water, but I've seen them on the surface of the water. However, I'd like to think that there is some sort of, based upon what I know here on Earth, I would like to think that there's some sort of an intelligent species of some sort on there, making decisions and making the calls on when it's time to go and when it's safe to land. And when one of them does pop out, I want to be there to get it.
I think the world's ready they're not going to be, crying home to mama or hiding in caves if, there's an alien that exists and they're here and we're not alone in this universe. The people are ready to take it, and I know still Joe Rodriguez is still not going to believe it because he's going to say it's some type of...
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I do believe that there's stuff out there. I have videotaped it. It's on Joe Rodriguez UFO on YouTube. I videotaped it. So I did not believe it a year and a half ago. I did not. I would have thought you guys were crazy and low lives. Now I believe it. I've seen these things. I videotaped them. But all I'm saying is that, like Joe was saying, he's talking about intelligent life. Oh man, let me tell you, that life is extremely intelligent, but it's Satan. It's not from another world. It's Satan, extremely intelligent, and his main purpose is to deceive the world.
We Third Phase of Moon have kind of put both you and Mr. Joe Rodriguez, the private investigator out of Los Angeles, and Joe Kiernan, the UFO hunter over there in Myrtle Beach, to put you kind of on a task to put out some documentary, investigative, journalistic style videos. Mm-hmm. And, interview people that kind of believe in the theories or, get the information of their sightings and what they believe in the on-location, hardcore,
I agree.
up in the feet journalism. Are you guys working on any of this kind of action? Because we sure would, like to feature some of your investigative skills and the people that I'm sure Los Angeles has quite a bit of stories out there.
Well, let me tell you, Blake. Some of my videos focus on the people. Some of my videos focus on the actual people, the witnesses pointing up and looking at these things and yelling at these things. So the next time I see a UFO, I'm going to focus on interviewing people. And I want to get their information coming from their heart, from what they saw. And I don't know, Joe, do you have any, I don't think I've seen any of your stuff with people around. Do you have any like that?
I do have some. They're few. It's just I have so many videos on there. They're few and far between. And, Joe, the only reason I can say that is I'm a family man first, and 99% of my sightings are standing right outside my back door. So I'm not really, as you know, there's a lot of strangeness with the people that come to view these things.
Exactly.
And it's tough to bring around my house. I do have 3 children, and I'm trying.
Yeah, you don't want to be the crazy one of the block.
Well, you're right. You're right. But it's a very delicate thing, and also it's something I don't want to stop. I don't want to chase the lights away. I don't want to make too big of a scene. But there are other places around here that you can go and see these lights that are not at my house. And with that said, I don't need to go to those other places because I could stand at my house. But for the tough debunkers that want to fight me to the end, of course, they're welcome to come here and see for themselves. And I've done this
you could basically
at least
order
30 times. I've brought people here to see them specifically. But now, Joe, what makes you so sure that they are of a demonic entity?
You're asking me?
Yes, sir.
Can you ask me one more time? I'm sorry.
What makes you feel that they are on the demonic side?
Oh, Joe, I'm glad you asked. When I read the Bible, it keeps on harping in the Bible. It keeps on harping about a big deception that's going to come to mankind, a huge deception, meaning a huge lie. It keeps on harping about.
Yeah, Joe, I'm sorry, we're going to have to go to break. I just wanted to let everybody know that we're going to be staying on the radio, and we'll be posting the rest of this broadcast on YouTube. And so everybody stand by. Joe, we're going to want you to answer that question. Mr. Joe Kiernan from Myrtle Beach, stand by. We're going to be going to break, and stay tuned for more Third Phase of Moon just right after the bottom of the hour here. Here live on Third Phase of Moon, taking your calls from around the world. And we have guests right here, Joe Rodriguez, UFO hunter from Los Angeles, Mr. Joe Kiernan from Myrtle Beach, UFO hunter, and we're taking people's Skypes and conversations and reading people's comments from around the world who has things to say. Right now we're getting a Skype live right here at Flies Catch on a flash chat. Says strange lights in the sky, does that count? And we're like, well, we said yes, that counts as a UFO. He says, well, does ball lightning count as a UFO? And we're thinking, of course, we're looking for incredible, unusual lights phenomenon in the sky. Let the people decide what they are. But we want people to have capture, if they capture anything like a weather phenomenon and ball lightning, well, then that's some pretty good stuff. He also says Myrtle Beach, South Carolina has an AFB that has a squadron of UAVs over there, an Air Force base, is what he's saying. Let's save that question for a sec from Flycatch because I know Joe Kiernan had a question. Can you repeat that question again for Joe Rodriguez? And then Joe Rodriguez, go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Rodriguez, I was curious as to how you came to your opinions that these are of a demonic nature as opposed to a good nature.
Right. Okay. Well, what hit me with a hammer on my head is when Mr. Robert Bingham, a great gentleman who calls these UFOs down. I mean, that's freaky right there. I went to the park and I saw him do that, and I was there investigating him to see if he's legit or not, because I'm an investigator. I've been doing that for 20 years. I heard someone in the background seeing these things, and I saw them too, yelling at these things and saying, save us, help us, show us the way. And then I said to myself, I've heard that in the Bible somewhere. Yeah. So I ran to the Bible that evening and I looked, and it says that people are going to be deceived and they're going to be looking for the wrong Jesus, the wrong Savior. So I started looking more into it. And that's when I started finding out more and more in detail in the Bible in many, many parts of the Bible, warning us of the great deceiver who started deceiving from the days of Adam and Eve. You see? So the people that don't believe in the Bible are going to be easily deceived. And I know many want to throw up hearing me saying this because they don't believe in the Bible, but hey, that's their situation. But I believe in the Bible now, and it clearly tells me that there is a deceiver out there. And these lights, worldwide, mind you, not just in L.A., not just in Florida, worldwide, are deceiving masses, meaning that they are confusing people, making them think that there's gods out there. Look, I saw a movie called Star Trek, just came out, Star Trek. Right away it starts with people in some planet, and this spaceship comes by, which happens to be, the Star Trek spaceship. I forgot the name of it. They see it. Yeah, the Enterprise. They see the freaking Enterprise, and they lose their faith, and they start believing in. They start drawing the image of the Enterprise, just like that. See how people can lose their faith?
The theory of the 12th planet and the basic ancient astronauts visiting Earth, basically a long time ago, and they kind
of represented all kinds of stuff. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of there's a lot of deceit out there, a lot of lies out there. No, so I connect that with the Bible.
All connected. One thing that I do see that you've come along a little way, Joe Rodriguez, because I know we've had some of these conversations in the past, but you basically admitted on the radio that there was no life in the universe, period, and there was no alien life at all. But now you're saying you've kind of turned the leaf on that, at least admitting that, yes, now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I still think that you've changed your opinion over the past few months of at least allowing the thought process that there is, possible intelligent life in the universe, and they're visiting the planet.
No. I haven't. Honestly, I haven't. For some reason, I believe that we are unique in the whole universe. I don't believe that God made other people. Just because there's rocks out there floating and they're beautiful, in my opinion, it's not that there's other gods out there, other people out there. I think we are unique in the whole universe. And those rocks out there, they're just lights. They're just beautiful things we can look at that God made for us. But what do we do as human beings? We turn them into gods, and we look up there for other gods, and that's what we do, just like we did with the monkey. God made the monkeys, beautiful monkeys, and we turned them into evolution, and we came from monkeys and this and that. Human nature.
So basically you're saying is if there's any life out there in the universe that it was created
in my opinion, no. In my opinion, God created us unique in the whole universe, completely unique. We are God's chosen people. The ones that believe in Him are God's chosen
people. That they
people.
look like means that they're human. I'm just saying that there might be aliens that have nothing to do with human. There's no DNA.
It's speculation.
It might not.
No, I know what you're saying. Right. It's all speculation, though. It's all, like we talked earlier about the grays. No one has really presented any real proof of a gray, living gray, or dead gray. We've seen some stuff that looks almost real, but we don't know for sure.
Can you prove to me that when Jesus resurrected, that He did resurrect from the dead and He rose afterwards?
Yes. Let me tell you how. Let me tell you how. Let me tell you how I can prove that.
With the video camera, and you would absolutely capture it, or would that?
No. There's other ways to prove it. I used to be an atheist. You got to remember that. I used to fight these crazy Christians. I couldn't stand Christians because my dad was a Christian, and he was the biggest hypocrite ever lived. So I used to argue with Christians and fight with Christians. But when I looked into it carefully, there are ways to prove that what happened really happened. Those people that followed Him, the 12 disciples, died. They gave their life after that.
The points that I just mentioned. Besides, let's just keep it very simple. Let's stick to where He rose into the heavens. How would you describe that? Did He actually levitate up there?
Yeah. He became a spirit.
A spirit. He was a body, like
an angel.
Like he was a man after He resurrected. Like basically, you could touch Him. He was there, right? And then
He went through walls. After he got resurrected, he was more than a man. He was an angel. He went through walls. If you read it, it says in there he actually walked into a room that was locked up. So he became a spirit. He wasn't a regular man anymore.
So basically, like any other people that believe that, that their spirits are still around them after somebody deceased or dies in the family, like, I could feel their spirit. So it's no different than that. He was basically like
No, it is different. No. Ecclesiastic says the body that is dead is dead. It's no longer alive. Jesus was an exception because he was resurrected. Everybody else, when they die, they're dead. I'm sorry to say that. I know the Catholic Church preaches that the soul is alive and God needed him in heaven, and that's why he passed away, and that they're looking down at you. That's all bullcrap. That's not in the Bible.
Okay,
none of that's in the Bible.
The technical, there was a movie that came out, Passion of the Christ, and at the very end, Mel Gibson's movie, he says it was based on what it really was, what really happened.
Bunch of lies. Also, that movie that came out recently.
It was the last part that got me because it showed him to resurrect with the hole in his hand. I'm like, oh, he's basically showing that he resurrected. So explain to me in detail again. So he's laying down, and they locked him up in the tomb, right? His body's there. Okay, so hang with me. So he resurrects, right? So it's a spirit now. It's not a full body. His body's still here. Is his bones on the planet, or his bones don't exist because it went into heaven, right?
Well, he resurrected in the spirit form. People can still see him. And when he shows his hands to doubting Thomas, he sees the holes in his hands. So he resurrected as a spirit, but he still had the same body. Then when he went up as an angel, as a spirit.
So
we're talking about Jesus. We're not talking about just an average person. We're talking about the actual Jesus Christ.
So if you were a commoner in the area, you didn't know about Jesus, and it just so happened you were in the right place at the right time, and a video camera existed, he would have appeared as a UFO in the sky.
Yeah, of course he would have. Yes. And that's why Satan uses that, because Satan is trying to recreate the same thing, except Satan's job is to mislead the masses.
This, I don't know. I never heard it of a theory where it was basically we kind of came to something interesting there. What do you agree, Joe Kiernan? Like, basically he's trying to with Joe Rodriguez. They're trying to read
a profound theory, and the good thing is Mr. Rodriguez offers both sides of the theology, and I commend you for that. And he is welcome to his opinions. And unfortunately, with religions, it's a very difficult topic. It's like politics. It's like choosing who's better, Republican or Democrat. Either way, you're going to strike a nerve. But with that said, I never quite did understand. I do understand the resurrection of Jesus Christ. I do understand the possibility of a non-physical form, and I do understand that it could possibly be what we're seeing as UFOs. But I don't understand how the door to Jesus' tomb was opened if no one had been there. Physically, it would have had to have been moved, and his bones would have also had to have been in place.
Yeah. Joe, there's millions of angels out there, and God uses his angels to do things. So the angels could have opened the stone without a problem.
Yes, I had never considered that theory.
Oh, yeah. Jesus even talked about when Satan tempted Jesus, Jesus told Satan, "Don't tell me to jump out to jump from the big mountain, because I can easily have no, wait a minute. Satan told Jesus, why don't you jump from the mountain, and you know that the angels can come and rescue you so you don't kill yourself." And Jesus didn't do it. But the point is that there's angels out there, and even Satan knows that there's angels out there. So that's not a problem.
I'm going to admit something tonight that I have never admitted publicly on YouTube or
I better sit down. Hold on, let me sit down, Joe.
Be my guest.
We got 2 minutes. Let's make it quick.
Well, then quickly grab a seat. See, now here's the thing is, I've also been stuck on the idea that what I'm seeing is angels, because I have not been able to, the orange lights that I constantly view and film that are closest to me, they're not far from me at all. When I see these orange lights, I cannot say that they are a solid entity craft or if they have a definitive shape. They appear to just be life themselves.
Yep.
But now I get a very good feeling from them. It's an empathy thing. It's not more of they're sending messages. It's more of sending emotions. And
it's interesting that you mentioned that because of that we received video right after the Oklahoma Moore disaster, and there was some video that came in of the exact same thing that you're describing of the orange orbs, and they possibly could be angels. What an interesting breaking news story. We were talking about all kinds of things. Joe Rodriguez, Joe Kiernan, we really want to thank you for joining us at Third Phase of Moon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and if anybody out there has captured anything amazing in regards to UFOs, angels, demons, ball lightning, we'd love to see it right here at Third Phase of Moon. Send it to us via Skype or Facebook. My name's Blake Cousins, and we'll see everybody again next time.
Third Phase of Moon.
Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. We're live, taking calls from around the world, right here, from people from around the world who capture amazing lights in the skies. We just released an amazing video called Attack on Area 51, The Untold Story. Mr. Ron Gardner came on the show, and we went over some amazing information in regards to J-Rod and what's going on at Area 51. And the comments that came in on Third Phase of Moon have been absolutely incredible. I think this one has gone up, 1,000 or so comments. Many comments coming in, and we're going to go over some of the favorite ones that we believe that Third Phase of Moon should mention, and we appreciate people that do come forward and have their opinion on what they think the information is that's coming out on Third Phase of Moon, what they believe. Have they ever been abducted by aliens? If they don't believe in aliens, one way or the other, the forum is a good place to share your opinion. So we're going to go over some of these opinions right now. And let's go to Lulian64. What Lulian64 said 3 days ago in regards to the J-Rod story. And he says, or she, I should have said that there are no grays on Earth. Grays aren't gray. They're rather shiny. Oh, and they aren't here to harm us. It's been 20 years since I met them. They aren't people for no reason. I remember when I was 12 and I was asked about them and what they were.
Focus on a lot of first-time reporters and contactees, and it's truly an amazing thing. This is happening worldwide. People just need to go out and spend a little more time outside. It's happening in every country, in every state, and I'm just part of the awareness to get people to pay a little more attention and to come up with their own conclusions. However, I am very interested in the Area 51 topic with the statements by Mr. Gardner. It's an incredible statements he has made regarding Eisenhower wanting to storm in there and take control, and it's quite amazing that although Eisenhower had reached that point, that we still really haven't made much progress on the knowings and the what's going on within the confounds of Area 51.
We're going over some of the comments right here under the video we posted, Attack on Area 51, The Untold Story, and Flycatchful says here that our nation is dying on a vine, and we have all this technology. Something's not right with this information and the state of our economy. The only information I believe concerning alien technology comes from Robert Lazar. So, some comments there saying that Ron Gardner's his information isn't totally accurate, but he does actually have testimony from the interview Robert Dolan did with the whistleblower retired CIA agent, claiming that he was right there with Eisenhower. This guy, after I watched that interview, it didn't seem like there was any trickery. Why would this guy? Well, people want their claims to fame maybe on their last dying days, and they want to, get in the newspapers. But it sure didn't seem that way to me.
Yeah, you're right about that. It seems to be between those two gentlemen there, and there's a few other people, as you know. One being Stanton Friedman, I had the pleasure of meeting and speaking to, and he's another gentleman who's worked at Area 51. And it seems that the people who have been out at Area 51 and have spent some time out there are all reporting incredible happenings that are going on there. However, there seems to be large differences in some of their stories. It's in my opinion, it's quite possible that there are several unique happenings that are going on there that maybe each department are unfamiliar with each other to cause discrepancies between their stories. I find it hard to believe that such credible people would have vast differences in their stories. However, technology seems to be quite profound, and it all seems quite relative to
videos that we've posted on Third Phase of Moon, and we're going over the the story about the attack on Area 51, if it was in Eisenhower's plan to grab the U.S. Army when he had the power and he was president to take over Area 51 and find out what was really going on over there. And Mr. Ron Gardner with us. And it was, pretty insightful about the information coming out. Believe it or not, who knows? But the story is quite fantastic. Let's, we'll take this other caller from area code 843. Welcome to Third Phase.
Hello, Blake. Joe Kiernan here from South Carolina.
Mr. Joe Kiernan, welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here. How are you tonight?
Doing good. Just going over some of these comments, and I know you get a lot of comments on your YouTube channel. Tell me, what are some of the response that you've been getting since you've been posting up these videos pretty much on a daily basis? We keep a close eye on the material that you're posting, and it is quite amazing and basically, constant, like a pretty much steady trickle of water, and it's not slowing down the activity.
You're right about that. It is continuous. It is ongoing. I have been focusing a lot of my time on meeting a lot of other people that are experiencing and witnessing similar things, and it seems to be occurring on a daily basis. If I'm not seeing it, someone else is reporting it, and I'm trying to.
They had said that they want to install memories into select humans and to give them a recall memory like mine. Why is this a puzzle? Sometimes with other humans, they're harder to install memories. So that's from Lulian64, and, these are the comments that we receive right here at Third Phase of Moon. And Mrs. Godswan, number 1, so that's MS God, GODSOWN1. And Miss Godswan says 3 days ago, amen to these folks that are POWs of Satan and don't even know it yet. We are in war of the spiritual kind and not the close encounter kind. And if you're on Yahweh's side, you're a soldier of his. If you're not a prisoner of war of Satan's, keep on the good fight, brother. So that's from Mrs. Godswan. Just interesting comments that are coming into Third Phase of Moon. We're taking calls from around the world, and if you do want to speak to us at Third Phase and ask any questions, the number is 347-934-0378. And right now we do have a caller in from somewhere on the planet Earth. Welcome to Third Phase of Moon. Who am I speaking with? And you have any questions?
Hello.
Yes. Welcome to Third Phase of Moon.
Hey, Blake. It's Joe Rodriguez.
Hey, Joe. How's it going?
Fine. I'm just listening in right now. I don't have anything to comment. I just dialed in right now, so I haven't heard the program yet. So I'm just listening in for now.
Certainly. Well, we're going over some of the comments that have been said about